We have discussed about the importance of versioning your data sets, which basically is linked to the problem of traceability for your machine learning model training tasks. Let's now take a look at the walkthrough associated with the exercise in this section. So what you needed to do was to register a data set with Azure Machine Learning Studio, and that data set that you have created is the NYC taxi sample data set. Now, in the first step, you needed to upload data set from a local file, and what that did for you was to create the first version of the data set. And as you can see here, you have specified that this is a tabular data set, and you uploaded one file in that particular data set. And if you explore the results of your data set, you can see that the first version of the data set contains information with multiple columns that you have specified, and there is a total of 14 columns here and a total of 9,776 rows. Remember that you have selected all the columns in the data set. So the next step in this particular lab was to showcase the creation of a version for your data set. And what you have done, you have registered a new version for the same data set. You have uploaded a slightly modified version of the CSV file that corresponds to the data set, and you have thus created version 2 of the data set. And if you remember what you did with version 2, you have specified that 3 of the columns that were present in version 1 should now be for version 2 removed. And as you can see now, you have 11 columns instead of 14 columns. And that is because you have selected to remove snow depth, precip time, and precip depth. And that created basically a new version of your data set. And it is important to highlight here that you basically have the same data set in terms of the conceptual, the logical structure of it. But as you can see, the current version of the data set is version 2, which means you have created 2 different versions. And what's important to remember here is that Azure Machine Learning remembers all the details for each of the versions, meaning that version 1 has a different number of columns from version 2. And then the next thing you are able to do is you can reference either of the versions in your machine learning model training tasks or experiments.